Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we took on the Winnipeg Jets in the second round of the playoffs, and we also managed to beat them just like we managed to beat the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. So I'm very excited to see if this team could get on to its first ever Stanley Cup Finals appearance. That'd be pretty awesome, especially considering how we started this season off. Now in last round, like I said, we beat the Winnipeg Jets. It was kind of an interesting series, and it was a much tougher series than the Colorado one. As you can see, we won game 1 6-1, but then we dropped 2 straight games for the first time in the playoffs, but then we won 3 straight right after that. So we're coming into the conference finals on a good little winning streak, and hopefully our team can keep it together. We're 8-2 in the playoffs so far, which is kind of a surprise to an extent, because our offense hasn't been the most active, I would say, but our goaltending has been really good, and our defensive play has been pretty solid as well. Like if we took a look at our player stats through 2 rounds so far, you'll see that there's not a lot of guys that are putting up a lot of points. Like we look, for example, at our centers, Jaskline and Pasquale have been good, but like there's not a lot of guys that are scoring goals. Burns only has 1 goal, but other than that, Jaskline is our only center that's scoring goals right now, which is kind of a surprise. And then you go to the wing and stuff like that. Our third line's been really good. Forster's been scoring. Thornton's been doing decent, but he still needs to score a little bit more goals. Probably same with like Morales and Sea-Doo. So hopefully those guys can get going here in the conference finals. And then also Korostin's been one of our best goal scorers as well, and he's also playing on the third line. So I just kind of hope that our top 6 or our second line in specific could get a little bit more going. Defensively, our team has been pretty solid enough, and Teratukin's been a beast on the back end, so there's not really any complaints from the defensive core so far. And then goalie-wise, Soderstrom has been a beast, and Janssen's been really good when he's been called upon. So I don't think I have really any problems with our team going forward, just as long as our offense could kind of get a little bit better, because right now there is still a ton of guys on this team that have not scored. So I'm really hoping we could get goals from somebody like Pasquale, somebody like Burns could score more, because only 1 goal in 10 games is not enough, especially with the price point that he's going to be asking for in the offseason. So anyways, that is that. And before we get into this conference finals, I will show you guys the Chicago Blackhawks lines again, just in case you forget. There was no comments at this point of recording, because I'm recording this pretty much just after you guys have seen the last episode, because I'm just really excited to get into this conference finals and see if we can get to a cup finals. But as you can see, this is the Chicago Blackhawks team that pretty much took us out last season. So they have Newhook, Dean, and Duclair, Thomas, Frost, and Bertuzzi, and then Camano, Ludeman, and Campoli, and a fourth line of Yoshi, Norris, and Kraus. So their center depth is pretty good. I don't know why they're not playing Norris on the third line or the second line instead of like Ludeman, but it is what it is. It's still a pretty good forward core for sure there in Chicago. And then their defense is also pretty solid. You got Koltsov and Jones, Stajan and Larson, and Forsling and Lemieux. And then goaltending-wise, obviously, they still have Igor Shesterkin, who's kind of falling off a little bit. He is 35 years of age now, and he had way less wins this season than he did last year. So not as good of a season, but he is probably going to be better, I would assume, against us in this playoff round, but I'm 100% sure with that. As you can see, he's kind of struggled in his career in the playoffs, so I'm hoping that he continues to struggle. Like an .899 save percentage through 2 rounds is not that good, and allowing almost 4 goals a game is also not that good. So hopefully we can take advantage of the Chicago Blackhawks not being that good of a defensive team this playoff run so far. But anyways, let's get into this conference finals and see if we can make it to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals. And if we do so, it would be either against Buffalo or Toronto, which I don't really know who I would rather have, because Buffalo, I believe, has won a cup in this franchise mode before. I could be wrong with that. And then Toronto probably still has like Matthews and Marner and stuff like that, so it's probably a tough team. But anyways, let's get into this. We have home ice advantage in the conference finals, which is nice, but that doesn't really mean anything when it comes to the playoffs. But let's see if we could use it to our advantage here and win game 1. Come on, boys. First period, and it's 1-1. I'll take that, I guess. Morales scores on Shesterkin, so that was one of those guys I called upon. He hasn't really scored that much. Like, I think that's his 3rd goal in the playoffs. There's like a lot of guys that have just not been really doing much offensively in terms of scoring goals. Like, they've been picking up assists, but they haven't scored a lot. So like, we have 3 guys that have 6 goals, and then everybody else is like below 3 goals, I think. But Zach Dean is going to tie the game up at 1 late in the period. Shots are 11-9 in favor of us, and it's a tie game after 1. Second period, still 1-1. Okay, I'll take that. Good defensive period from the boys. But once again, our offense is still kind of quiet. I really hope that we could get those guys that haven't scored a lot going a little bit more. Like Gene Thornton, if he could get going, we could definitely win games because he's only got like 2 goals so far, and that's kind of uncharacteristic of him, to be honest. Shots are 21-18 in favor of us. It's a 1-1 game going into the third, so anybody's game. Let's see if we could get a lead here. Newhook gets the lead for Chicago right away, which is not good. Come on, boys. Let's tie this one right back up. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Power play opportunity. We do not convert on it. Come on, guys. We need 1 goal just to tie this one up. Bring it to OT, maybe. Come on. Who wants to be that hero? Come on. And we are going to lose game 1 by a score of 2-1. So not a good offensive game again. And a solid defensive game again. Soderstrom was definitely not the reason we lost that game. So Morales gets the only goal for us from Sedin and Burns, and it was pretty early into the game. So after Shesterkin allowed that early goal, he kind of just stayed on his horse and allowed no goals after that. So we definitely need to find a way to beat Shesterkin a little bit more. Like I said, he was struggling in the first 2 rounds, but I felt like kind of that he could try to break out in this third round. So I really hope we could start scoring on him. Soderstrom was really good. He got 3rd star of the game still, and Dean also got a start in that game. But yeah, minus player wise, it was pretty much that third pairing that's been actually really good defensively, and Roach and Afinosenkov, so that's kind of a surprise. And then also Jaskline was a -2 in that game. Maybe we'll make some line changes already, which might be a little bit of a freak thing to do considering we're only down 1-0 in the series. But I feel like this could be a series that we get swept in, and Shesterkin ends up playing really good. Last year we took Chicago to 7 games in round 1, so I'm really hoping we could do better than that this year. So yeah, let's make some line changes. Let's try and get Sea-Doo going on that top line. We'll try and get Thornton going on that second line a little bit. Third line is definitely going to stay the same, and Ferraro still is not minus, so I guess I'll keep him in for now. Yeah, I think I'll keep him in for now, but we might eventually throw Zubov back in because he's more offensive. And then defensively, let's see if we could get this maybe changed up a little bit. I don't really like that. I guess we'll play Yip with Afinosenkov, and then Hedman and Sedin can play together, and then Roach could be up there with Teratukin. And then goalie-wise, we're definitely going to stick with Soderstrom because he's been amazing so far this playoff run, which is kind of scary because he might demand a lot of money in the offseason because, like I said, we do have some big contracts up this offseason, and we don't have a lot of cap space, so we might run into some very problematic contracts and stuff like that in this offseason. But anyways, let's get into Game 2. We lost our first game, and it was on home ice, which is not good, so hopefully we can bounce back and at least split the 2 of them headed to Chicago. Because if we go down 2-0 headed to Chicago, we're kind of in a bad spot. So here we go. Let's see. Game number 2, still on home ice. Let's see if we can bounce back with a good offensive game. First period, we're down 1-0. Damn, this offense is not doing anything right now in the conference finals. Like I said, I think I said in the last episode, Shesterkin could end up just like playing really good in the conference finals. Like he was not good at all in the first 2 rounds, but all of a sudden he's playing a lot better. So Declare gets a power play goal for them. The shots are 9-7 in favor of us, but we're still down by a goal. Can we please get some offense going in the second period? Second period? Okay, we got a goal back, which is good from Morales again. But Ludman, that 77 overall, restores the lead for Chicago. We're being outshot 21-16, and we're down by a goal. Let's see what happens here in the third period. See if we can get this game tied back up. Penalty kill. 5-on-3 penalty kill. Stop taking penalties, boys. Thank you. Can we tie this one up, please? Or are we going to lose again? Burns scores. There we go. That's another guy that has not scored a lot, like I said. And then Campoli scores, of course. They get that lead back. And then Teratukin ties it right back up for us. Okay, this is a little bit more of an offensive game for us, which is good. But hopefully we can play a little bit better defensively now. Shots are 30-26 in favor of Chicago. It's a 3-3 game as Burns and Teratukin have third-period goals. Campoli scored for them. Let's see if we can get the OT winner here and tie this series up at 1. Come on, boys. Penalty kill. It's a long penalty kill, and we kill it off. I don't know who took the penalties, and we win an OT, and it's Korostin again. Oh, jeez. Korostin's got like 4 game-winning goals in this playoff run, I think, so far. So, shout out to Korostin for being such an elite scorer, apparently. Shots are 36-28 at the end of that game for them, but we managed to kill off a 5-on-3 in OT. And then we managed to get the game-winning goal right afterwards, which is pretty awesome. I don't know who took those penalties in OT. Let me take a look at that quickly. So, yeah, Kapitanov took like a minor penalty, and then Morales took a minor penalty, and then Sidu took a minor penalty as well. And then we somehow got the OT winner from Korostin. But so, Morales from Burns, Burns from Morales and Teratukin from Thornton and Burns, and Korostin from Thornton and Pasquale. So it seems like moving Thornton to that second line it kind of helped that second line score more goals because Burns had a couple points, Morales had points. So maybe that was the exact move we needed to make. But like I said, I think Korostin's got like 4 game-winning goals in the playoffs, which is pretty nuts. And only 1 minus player, and a good game again from Soderstrom. Not a great goals against average, but the save percentage is good. And obviously he kind of kept us in that game too. 3 stars, Burns gets first star, Morales the second star, and Teratukin the third. So good to see that second line getting going. Hopefully he can keep it up, because if they can, then all 3 of our top lines are going to be doing good. I don't really care if our 4th line converts and gets a lot of points, because they're more defensively minded. But it would be nice if we could get all lines rolling to an extent. So we have a 1-1 series headed into Chicago, and the Eastern Conference Finals is also tied at 1. Let's see if we can win a game on the road, and hopefully our second line can continue doing what they just did in last game. First period, and we're down 1-0 again. We always trail after 1 in the series so far. Campoli scores, and the shots are 12-11 in favor of Chicago, but we're down by a goal. Can we bounce back in the second is the question. Second period, we're down by a goal again, so pretty much the exact same as last game. Campoli scores again on the power play, so we might need to address our penalty kill a little bit. So we were down 2-0, but then Burns gets us a goal late. So Burns is starting to get going, and that second line is starting to convert, which is nice. Shots are 25-20 in favor of Chicago. We're down by a goal again going into the third period. Can we tie this one up? Come on, boys. Let's get that second line going more. Thornton, penalty kill. Oh, Newhook scores another power play goal. Yeah, we might need to address our penalty kill, because it's been giving up a lot of goals in the last few games, I think. Power play for us late, and we don't convert. We're going to lose this game and go down 2-1 in the series. Yep, Dean adds 1 to make it a 4-1 game, and not a great game from Soderstrom, but he did face 39 shots, so I wouldn't really put the faults on him, but we could always turn to Janssen if we really need to, because maybe Soderstrom needs another break. So Burns gets our only goal from Morales and Thornton. So yeah, that second line is doing all the offense right now, and our top line has been kind of quiet. So I might make some more line changes, and definitely to our penalty kill, because our penalty kill has kind of struggled in the series so far, if I'm not mistaken. This might be one of those series that go to all 7 games if we could bounce back with a win in this game. Hopefully we can. So Sidu has been really quiet so far. He's been a really big disappointment. 4 points in 13 games. I do not like that at all. I don't want to move the third line up at all, because they're fine doing where they are right now. And like I said, Korostin has how many game-winning goals? Yeah, 4 game-winning goals in this playoffs. 4 of his 7 goals have been game winners. So I think we're gonna move Morales up, move Kapitanov down, kind of just change things around a little bit. Actually, wait a second. Morales over there, Kapitanov up. There we go. Okay, Kapitanov, Jaskline, and Morales. And then we will do Sidu, Thornton, and Burns. And 4th line, I think we're going to take Ferraro out, because maybe we're just taking too much penalty minutes. And we will throw back in Zubov and see if he could give us some offense down there on that 4th line. And then defensively, we're going to go to Teratukin and Hedman, and then Sedin and Roach. And yeah, we'll run with Yip and Afanasenkov, I think, still. And then goalie-wise, Soderstrom's stats are kind of getting worse, but I don't want to go to Janssen just yet. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So some other changes there, and then we'll also go to our penalty kill and adjust this a little bit. We'll move Morales up, and then we'll move Forster down. Just try something like that, and then I think the rest of this should be fine. Yeah, we'll just do that subtle little change to our penalty kill and see if it helps it out. Because if our penalty kill could start playing a little bit better, then we definitely have a shot at winning games. Because right now I think that's been our downfall, and then also our offense hasn't been the greatest, because we've only scored 1 goal there. We scored 4 goals there, but we only scored 1 again in that last game. So let's see if we could tie the series up headed into game 5, because this is a pretty crucial game. We don't want to go down 3-1. First period, 1-1, I'll take it. Offense scores first for us. Morales again. So Morales is having a good series for sure. But we definitely need our top line like Jääskeläinen to start scoring goals and whatnot again, because Jääskeläinen had 6 goals going into the series, but so far he hasn't scored a goal, I think, in this conference finals. Dean tied it up on the power play again for them, so our penalty kill changes did not really do anything. The shots are 18-5 in favor of Chicago, yet it's a 1-1 game, so Soderstrom's having a good game so far. Our offense really needs to get more opportunities, though, because we can't just score like 5 goals on like 10 shots, you know. Second period, and we're down 3-1. That's not good. That is not good. We only have 11 shots through 2 periods. Our team is just not doing anything right now. That is not good. We might end up going down 3-1, and then hopefully we can somehow rally back to a game 7, but I don't really like the looks of this right now. The shots are 26-11 in favor of Chicago. We're down 3-1 because of goals to Thomas and Frost. We need a big third period here, or else we're going to be down 3-1 in the series. Penalty kill early, and we get a goal early from Sidu. Okay, I'll take that, definitely. And then Morales scores. Okay, we are tied back up. I didn't expect us to score 2 early goals. And Morales scores again. We're up 4-3. Okay, this team is all of a sudden just woken up out of the grave. And we're all of a sudden getting a ton more shots than they are. Still up 4-3. Can we win this game? I did not expect us to randomly wake up in the third period. Yep, we're going to randomly just come back from a 3-1 deficit in the third period. Sidu hadn't really scored any goals. And then he finally gets one in a crucial game to pull within 1. Morales scores 2 goals, which I think, yeah, that's a hat-trick for Kyler Morales. So the OG draft pick of this team just put up a hat-trick in a crucial game, so that is pretty awesome to see. I hope that it could bring back Morales, though, when his contract ends next offseason. Not like this upcoming one, but the next one. But we have tied the series up. The final shots were 32-22 in favor of them, but we managed to come back and destroy Shesterkin in that third period. But let's take a look at the player stats. So Morales is 5th from Afinisenkov and Jääskeläinen, and then Sidu's 3rd from Burns and Thornton. Morales is 6th from Jääskeläinen and Sedin, and then Morales from Jääskeläinen and Kapitanov. So seems like that +5 overall boost definitely helped out that top line, and it's really good to see Kyler Morales scoring a lot of goals. Like, I think he might be our best goal scorer now in the playoffs. Let's take a quick look at this, see if there was any minus players. A couple -2s, which is our third line, which is kind of weird because that third line's been one of our best lines so far. And then, yeah, not a great game from Soderstrom, but he got the win, and that's really all that matters, I think. So Morales the first star, Jääskeläinen in the second star because he assisted on all 3 Morales goals, I think. And then Thomas gets the 3rd star for them. So we have a tie series headed back home to Houston, which is great for game number 5. It's been a back and forth series so far. We're kind of getting a little bit lucky because 2 of those games we lost to only scoring 1 goal, but the 2 games that we've won so far were 1-goal games. So yeah, that's kind of scary to an extent. So yeah, hopefully our offense can start scoring a lot more goals than they can, and hopefully our defense kind of plays a little bit better, because it's been a little bit worse in this round than it has in previous rounds before this. Okay, so let's get into this game number 5 and see if we could actually take a lead in this series, because we have not led this series so far. We've been trailing, and we've only been tied at the series so far, so we haven't won a game more than they have at this point. But let's see if we could take a 3-2 series lead here, headed back to Chicago afterwards. We got another home game first period. We're up 1-0. Let's go. The team has finally woken up, it seems like, offensively because of that third period we just had in the last game. Burns scores again, so seems like the guys that haven't been scoring that I was mentioning at the beginning of this episode are actually starting to score, like Morales, Burns, even Sidu scored a goal. So this team is starting to wake up a little bit, which is good. The shots are 11-10 in favor of us, and we're up by 1 goal. Second period, and it's still 1-0. So a very defensive game by comparison to the last game we had. Well, yeah, I guess it was kind of defensively minded until we came back in the third period. But it's 1-0 for us. We're outshooting them 23-17. Let's see what happens here in the third period. See if we can lock this one down. Penalty kill early in the third, and we kill it off. But then Koltsov ties it up. Not good. Come on, boys. We need to get that lead back again. Sam Sidu, somebody, I don't know who I want to call upon. Korostin. Yet another game winner for Korostin. Final 5 minutes, and Sidor scores. Of course, the fourth line hadn't scored at all in this playoff run. And Sidor with a big game-winning goal, and then Korostin does come through with an empty netter, and we have taken our first lead of the series 3-2. And yeah, we're one win away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals, which is pretty nuts because of the start of the season we had. I didn't really expect us to get this close to a Cup final. The final shots in that game were 30-25, and we come through with a victory. Good defensive effort and solid offensive one. So Burns from Sea-Doo and Thornton, so that second line still continuing to do good stuff. And in Sidor, yeah, his first of the playoffs from Sedin and Tursunbayev. So those three guys, I believe, really had no points in the playoffs at all up to this point. But to see them start getting points in crucial games like this, it's really good when your depth starts to score. And then Korostin's 8th from Pasquale and Forster is that empty netter. 3 stars in the game. Soderstrom was amazing in that game. Burns 2nd star and Sidor the 3rd. Really love to see that 4th line come through right at the right time. You love to see that. Because I'm pretty sure that 4th line really had no points going for them at all up to this point. Let's take a look quickly and see if they had any points up to that point before that game. Because I'm kind of curious on that front. I think they had a couple of assists, but I believe none of them had any goals. Maybe it's because we threw Zubov back in instead of Ferraro. Maybe that actually helped us out a little bit. I don't know. Because Zubov has 1 assist so far. Tursunbayev only has 2 assists in 15 games. And then, yeah, Sidor has the only goal on that 4th line. Like, these guys don't get a lot of ice time, but so far they've been solid defensively, and that's all we really need from them. But, yeah, all the other lines have been basically our offense at this point. And then, like, Sedin's also been kind of quiet as a defenseman. And then Afinisenko is more defensively minded. He's a +9 in the playoffs, which is really great to see as well. Okay, so we are 1 win away from going to our first Stanley Cup Finals. I don't know if I'll intervene and let you guys watch like the celebration to get like the Eastern Conference champions or Western Conference champions, I guess. But if we definitely if we win the Stanley Cup, obviously you guys will see a celebration in that when we actually do that episode next, which hopefully we actually get to that Cup Finals. I can't count my chickens yet because Chicago could tie the series up still here. But we're 11-4 in the playoffs, and we're 1 win away from going to that first Stanley Cup Finals. Let's see if we could do this. We're not going to do a real-time simulation, but hopefully we could win this game. First period, up 1-0. We'll take it. It's a short-handed goal from Kyler Morales. He's just doing everything in this conference finals. You love to see it. I don't even know if he's our captain on this team. I think Jaskalainen might be, but I don't know if Morales is or not. But the fact that he was like our first ever pick in the series and the fact that he's helping us get to potentially a Cup Finals is really nice to see. Shots are 12-7 in favor of Chicago, but we are beating them 1-0. Second period, oh, that's not what I want to see. They score a short-handed goal of their own. Nick Camano ties the game at 1, and then Gustav Forsling ties the game up, or not ties the game up, takes the lead for Chicago. Shots are 22-19 also in favor of Chicago. We're down by 1 goal. Who wants to be the hero for us in this third period? I know Korostin scores game-winning goals, so who wants to be the one to tie it up? Let's see what happens here in the third period, see if we can get this game tied back up. Penalty kill. Nicely done. And Bertuzzi makes it 3-1. Looks like we might be going to a Game 7, which is kind of scary. Yep, we're going to a Game 7. Forsling makes it 4-1. God damn. Yeah, this team, I don't know if we're going to win the series or not. Burns makes it 4-2. Sea-Doo makes it 4-3. Okay. Okay, maybe we can still win the series. Final few minutes of this game. Can we tie this up? No, we cannot. We almost came back in that incredible game, but we lose 4-3. Another 1-goal game in the series. Burns and Sea-Doo have been starting to work a little bit more often, which is good. But we're going to a Game 7 situation, which is very terrifying. We're 1 win away from going to our first ever Cup Finals, and we're 1 loss away from packing our bags in the conference finals as well, and then running into some cap problems probably. So Morales from Jaskline and Hedman, Burns from Thornton and Sedin, and Sea-Doo from Burns and Yip. So if we didn't allow those 2 goals in the third period, we would have won the game. But of course, our team had to let in a couple goals in that third period. Any badly minus players in that game? A couple -1s, but nobody really badly minused. And goalie-wise, was not a great game from Soderstrom. That was his worst game of the playoffs by far. I don't want to turn to Janssen for Game 7 because that sounds kind of suicidal. So, Forsling, Camano, and Burns are your 3 stars of the game. I don't know if I should be making any line changes or not, because it's been a really back and forth series. We were down 1-0, we tied it at 1. We were down 2-1, we tied it at 2. We were up 3-2, they tied it at 3, and now we're going to a game 7. And there's been a lot of one-goal games in this series so far. Like, this is a one-goal game, this is a one-goal game. This one was a blowout loss. This was a one-goal game. This could have been a one-goal game, but we got an empty netter. And then this was a one-goal game. So, a very interesting series here in the conference finals. Whoever wins this game is going to go on to face the Buffalo Sabres for the Stanley Cup. Interesting. Let's take a look and see if we need to make any line changes going into this game. What line was minus? Okay, so that third line is kind of being a little bit bad defensively. So even though I don't really want to split them up, is there any way I can split them up? I don't think so. Because I don't want to move Sidor up. Karostin's been a really good scorer. I don't want to move Forster down because of his overall. I could change Pasquale and Tursunbayev, but both of them aren't that great defensively, I'm pretty sure. 76 and 71. Yeah, and I like the face-off stats from Pasquale. 89 on the face-off dot. So I got to keep that the same. Do we want to change anything with our defensive core around? We'll maybe go back to this defensive pairings we had before. Yeah, I think we'll go back to our original defensive pairings, see if that helps out. And I think that's all we're going to change, because I don't want to put Ferraro in, because I feel like he might take penalties at the wrong time. So I'm going to keep Zubov in for now. I don't think our power play has been really doing that good so far, which is kind of weird because it has 2+5s. So we might change this up a tiny bit. Seadoo's not really been doing much, and Morales has. So I'm going to change that a little bit. Seadoo's going to go to the second unit. Morales back up to the top unit because he's been scoring goals in the series. And I think that's pretty much all the changes we're going to make. Yeah, I think that's all the changes we're going to make. It might be a little bit weird making changes for a Game 7, but literally if we lose this game, we're going to be packing our bags this late in the season, which is definitely going to suck, but I really would like to get to that Cup Finals against Buffalo if we can. Let's see what happens in Game 7. We got home ice advantage, so hopefully we could get our fans happy for this Game 7. We'll do a real-time simulation as well, see if we could win in 7 games. Come on, boys. If only we had like Justin Williams or something like that. But maybe Karostin is a Justin Williams type player because of the game-winning goals. Bertuzzi scores early. I don't like that. Frost makes it 2-0. We're going to be backing our bags in this game, aren't we? Unless we have a good second period or get a late goal here in this first period. But this is not looking too good. Okay, Zubov scores, so the fourth line comes through with a big goal. They had a big goal in game number 6, was it? Or 5? Game number 5. So we're down 2-1 after 1, so we're still in this game, which is good. Shots are 12-7 in favor of Chicago, but we need to get more opportunities if we want to beat Shesterkin, because you can't just score 5 goals on 6 shots or something like that on Shesterkin. There's just no way. Second period underway. Let's see if we can tie this one up here, boys. Come on, guys. This is crucial that we get a goal to tie it up. Who wants to be that hero? Karostin. Power play opportunity. We don't convert. Damn, I was hoping Morales moving up to that top unit would help it out. Penalty kill, and they go up 3-1. That's a ball buster goal, but Karostin answers right back. Okay. So we're trading goals right now at this point. Robert Thomas gave them a 3-1 lead, but then Karostin says, hey, we're going to stay in this game. It's a 3-2 game going into the third period for them. We're being outshot 27-18, so I'm actually pretty scared to see what happens in this third period. Can't we tie this game up and go to the Stanley Cup Finals maybe? Or are we going to end up losing in 7 games in the conference finals? Come on, boys. We need somebody to come through in a clutch. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Who wants to tie it up? Morales. Burns scores. Let's go. Burns makes it a 3-3 game. That is a huge goal from Burns in Game 7. It's a 3-3 game. Are we going to overtime in Game 7 of the conference finals? Yes, we are. Oh, man. I didn't think it was going to get even more intense than it is now. Game 7s are always intense, but when you go to an overtime situation to see who goes to the Cup Finals, this is like next level insane. We're being outshot 41-27, but we are tied at 3 going into overtime. I'm not going to jump in and watch the AI play because it could take like a long time for somebody to score. So we're going to just go into the real-time simulation and see if we could get that game winner. But who wants to score for us? Karostin, I know you like game-winning goals. Can you do it here in overtime, or maybe Morales, somebody like that? Come on, guys. Here we go. I am so nervous. I wish I had my face cam on or something. Come on, boys. Can we get that game-winning goal? I am so nervous. I feel like I'm going to blink and miss a goal, which is kind of scary. And we are going to double overtime in Game 7 now of the conference finals. This is even more nuts than the first overtime. We're being outshot 50-37, so this is an insane game for Soderstrom to keep us in this. He's made 47 saves so far, and we've had 37 shots. We're getting outplayed in this game, but the fact we're hanging around, I like that at least. Oh, I know this game is going to end soon as I press X, so prayers up and hope we win this game. Let's see what happens. Double OT and we lose. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Soderstrom? You played so good, and then Frost scores and we lose 4-3 in double overtime of Game 7 of the conference finals. This might have been our closest chance of winning a Stanley Cup in the series. There's a chance that we could run into cap problems and our team might not be ever as good as they are this season, but we lose in the conference finals. After coming back, like, this season was so good because we started off so bad. We made a coaching change. We finished the season off in the playoffs. We went through 2 teams, and then we get to a Game 7 double overtime situation, and then Morgan Frost ends our dreams in the conference finals. And more than likely, Chicago is going to go on and win the Stanley Cup over Buffalo or something like that. Oh, that is a heartbreaker. I was really hoping that we would just hang around and score a game-winning goal in that, because we were getting outplayed, but you never know with really who ends up winning those games. Like, we got outplayed in every single period except for overtime. And then the face-off stats were dead even at 47 apiece. But they started winning a lot more face-offs after we dominated the first period. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, I wish I could see what line was out there for the game-winning goal, but Burns, Sea-Doo, our top guns were minus in that game, which definitely is not a good thing. And then, yeah, Soderstrom kept us in it. Soderstrom was a beast in that playoff run, but we could not get that win. If we would have won that game, I think there was a good shot we could have beaten Buffalo in the Cup Finals, but I don't really know what their roster looks like, so maybe not. But there's the 3 stars, all Blackhawks players, which is kind of nuts because I thought there should have been players of our team, but it is what it is. Like, I don't know why Soderstrom didn't get a star. He faced a ton of shots and kept us in that game. But we lose in 7. Let's take a quick look at our player stats, and we'll sum up to the awards and the draft and all that stuff. Even though this episode is running a little bit long, but man, this is a heartbreaker. Jääskeläinen was really good, 15 points, 17 games. Burns really picked it up in that conference finals, 14 points in 17 games. Pasquale, 11 points in 17 games. Tursenbayev, 3 assists. He was really quiet, but good defensively. Zubov, 2 points in 10 games. I don't know if we should have played Ferraro for Game 7 or not. Might be up in there if we would have done that or not. Morales was really good in that round, 14 points. Yeah, it seems like our top guns really started to pick it up. Gene Thornton really didn't score goals, which is something we pay him for, so I'm not really liking that. Like, his point total is good, but only 2 goals in 17 games as a power forward that has that good of shooting categories. It's kind of weird. Forster was good, but he kind of slowed down in that conference finals. Sea-Doo was really quiet until the conference finals as well. And then Sidor obviously was quiet because of the 4th line. Korostin was really good with those game-winning goals, and Kapitanov was kind of quiet as well. Defensively, Teratukin was good. Yip was great defensively. Sedin was solid. Same with Hedman. Roach was not that great defensively, and Afanasenkov was pretty good. Soderstrom was fantastic with that .922 save percentage, but not a great goals against average. But then again, Chicago scored a decent amount of goals on us, and we could have played Janssen more in the conference finals, but we didn't. He might end up leaving because we do have Park in the minors, which kind of sucks. Man, so close to winning a Stanley Cup this year. But of course, it just fell apart at the wrong time possible in that double OT situation. Oh, that really hurts. That might be the biggest blow to a team I've had in a franchise mode before. Let's see who ends up winning the Stanley Cup. It's more likely going to be Chicago. No, it's going to be Buffalo, so we don't even lose to the best team in the league. We lose to the best team in the West, obviously, but Buffalo is going to win the Stanley Cup here in 2031. Let's take a look at those awards quickly. So Buffalo Stanley Cup, Calgary the President's Trophy, Chicago Buffalo Cup Finals, Scarabelli the Art Ross, Matthew Tkachuk the Hart, McCarr the Norris. So Calgary Flames players are cleaning up on awards. Elias Pettersson wins the Bing in Montreal, which is a little bit weird. Del Zotto wins the Calder. Eichel wins the Conn Smythe for Buffalo. Spencer Knight wins the Vezina, but we knocked him out in the playoffs, which is nice. And he also won the Jennings. Fernandez wins the Masterton for Minnesota. The Jack Adams went to a Pittsburgh coach, which kind of makes no sense because our coach that we brought in really should have got it, I would say. Jääskeläinen won a Selke, so this is our first ever player to win a major award on this Draft to Glory team. So that's really awesome to see Jääskeläinen winning a Selke. That is really awesome. So we might not have won a Stanley Cup, but we won a Frank J. Selke, so that's really nice to see that. Tkachuk wins the Lindsay and Scarabelli the Richard. But there we go. Jääskeläinen, good stuff, man. Hopefully you keep it up next year, because we might have ourselves a very good player to hold on to for a long time. No awards in the minors either. Interesting. Let me take a look at that playoff tree just to see how much games it went to in the Cup Finals. It was a 5-game series in that Cup Finals, so we probably were no match for Buffalo, I would guess. Buffalo was probably way better than us. But, I mean, if we would have got to that Cup Finals, maybe we would have been able to beat them. Who knows? So that is that, and now let's quickly sim up to the draft just to see the draft class and all that stuff updated. And also I'll show you guys the contract situation, and that'll be it for this episode. So Boston's got first overall, followed by Detroit, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay. So this is our second year without a lottery pick, which means we're not going to be getting as good of a player in the draft this year. But hopefully we could still do pretty decently. So Johnny Gaudreau is the best player to retire. Not that it really matters. I don't think we lost anybody because our team's still young, or youngish. Best goalie to retire was Connor Hellebuyck in New York. Interesting. And then Grubauer's also up there and stuff like that. Did we lose anybody? I don't think so, right? Unless there was just a random guy in the minors. No, there was nobody. Okay, I'll take that. And did we lose any coach? No, we did not either. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the draft class, and then we'll also take a look at our contract situation, the progress reports, and that'll be it for this episode because we're running around 40 minutes as of this recording. Of course, there's a franchise player first overall this year, too. Damn. So we're going to be drafting at number 30 this year, which is not that good. And we don't really know a lot about these late round picks. This guy's a bust, so I'm definitely not going to draft him. But looks like we could get more top 6 defensemen, which is not bad, I guess. But looks like our scouts really didn't do a good job. So, I really don't know who's going to be good and who isn't. Unless we could find a guaranteed low elite, like maybe this guy. I don't really know. He might have an X factor as well. This guy has no weakness in 2 years away, so that guy might be our pick for sure. Gaspar de Parenteau. Yeah, this guy might be really good. No weakness, he might be a low elite that's 17. There's also a top 4 defenseman that's 2-way. We could pin definitely all these type of guys. Lau's a top 6 forward, we'll pin him as well. But yeah, it's probably going to be end up winning one of those guys, I guess, because we don't really need more goalie prospects at this point, even though there is a goalie supposed to go in the first round, but he's way ahead of our spot. This guy's probably an elite goalie. So anyways, that's the draft class. Let me take a quick look at the progress reports and then the contract situation. So modified wise, Burns is getting a lot of natural and statistical growth. He wants a lot this offseason, I think, so it's going to be expensive. We might have to get him only on 1 year. Sedin's getting some good growth. Looks like a lot of our guys are getting good growth. And then Schutz is getting really close to being an NHL defenseman, so we might use him next year because he's a low elite. Yip is getting some statistical growth, I think. Yeah, mostly statistical. Karostin's getting some statistical. Looks like Sea-Doo really isn't growing anymore, which is kind of good in a sense. Jääskeläinen and Morales and Forster all stopped growing. Forster's contract also ends this offseason, I think, so he's going to be a little bit expensive. And then, yeah, Park is more than likely going to be our backup goalie to Soderstrom, if we could get Soderstrom back on a decent deal. because the fact, Jansson's not as good as Park, so Park is probably going to be our NHL backup goalie. He's getting a lot of good growth too. And obviously he does not have those X factors, it's just a glitch. In the system-wise, let me sort this by overall. Petan's getting a lot of growth for a top 9, which is good. Ortiz is still growing, which is a top 6-4 prospect. Blacker's still growing really well, 73 at 21. He might be in the NHL pretty soon. And then a lot of other guys are in the 70s, so that's also good to see that we're getting growth from a lot of our prospects. Benson's not really growing that much, which means this guy's probably a bust, unfortunately, but we'll definitely still marinate him in the AHL. So there you go, that is that. And let's take a quick look at that contract situation. So all expiring, so yeah, these contracts are going to be probably pretty tough. I don't know how much cap space we're going to have, but Kapitanov, he wants $11 million, so he might end up getting signed for 1 year. Burns, what do you want? He's still asking for a lot of money, less than what I was looking at before, because he used to want like $18 million for like 8 years, which is kind of nuts, but still, he is still pretty pricey, so we might have to get him also on a 1-year deal. Forster, I'd love to bring him back. He doesn't want really too much, so we'll probably bring him back for a good price. Yip wants $3 million. Roach, $2 million. Pasquale, we might end up losing 1.6. Tursunbayev, 1.6. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some expensive players on this team, and I hope that we could actually re-sign most of these guys back if I can. And then goalie-wise, does Soderstrom still want a lot of money? No, he doesn't. Okay, that's good, because before he wanted like $6 million, but now he only wants 2.7, so he's definitely going to be much cheaper. And then Jansson I might end up letting go because of the fact we do have Park, who is probably going to be our backup next season instead, so that should be interesting to see how he could do, considering he was a 7th round pick too. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode. So it really sucks that we lost in Game 7 in the conference finals, but it does make our team hungrier for next season, and hopefully we can make it back to a cup, or we'll get into a cup finals in the next few seasons, because that would be really nice. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.